Yes, students, now we will learn the topic of payment of tax, which is nothing but payment of GST. The provisions with respect to payment of tax is covered under section 49 of CGST Act, and if GST is not paid within the due date of payment, then interest will be charged as per section 50. So mainly we will be focusing on these two sections in this chapter. Fine. And before we get into the payment, guys, whenever a person get registered under GST, that is the registered person, he will be having a profile on the GST portal. So on the GST profile, there will be three ledgers or register which will be displayed. Sir, which are those? Two e-ledgers, that is electronic ledgers, that is cash and credit ledger we call it as. The other one is register, that is liability register. Okay. Sir, what will appear on this? I will just read out this, then explain with a simple example, guys. Electronic ledger or e-ledgers are of two types. One is the one set is prepared and updated by the taxpayer himself, that is the registered person, which is electronic cash ledger as well as credit ledger. The other one is the electronic liability register, which will be automatically updated from the information given by the registered supplier in his return, especially GSTR 1. Okay, sir. So let me just try to explain the concept of this with an example, guys. Oh. Assume there is a registered person who is making an outward supply for which the value of supply as per section 15 is 50,000. On that 10% GST is applicable, so the output tax is 5,000. So totally how much will he collect from the recipient? 55,000, out of which 5,000 is output tax, guys. So this registered supplier will file his GSTR1 giving the details of his outward supply. So on that outward supply, what is the amount of GST, people? 5,000, which we call it as output tax. So this output tax will appear in the electronic liability register, which is maintained in PMT01. PMT stands for payment. Yes, sir. And it is maintained as per rule 85, guys. Okay, sir. Then assume is inward supply. He is also taking an inward supply. The value of supply on that inward supply, which is nothing but value of purchase, is 10,000, on which GST charged by the supplier is 1,000. So for this registered person, it is called input tax. The tax which he has paid on his inward supply. So totally this person has paid how much to his suppliers for his inward supply is 11,000. Okay. Now even this supplier would have filed his GSTR1 giving the details of his outward supply. Yes, guys, please be careful. For him, this is inward supply, whereas this is outward supply. Okay. Now for the supplier who made this supply to this guy, for him it is an outward supply. Yes, sir. So he will file GSTR1 giving the details of his outward supply. Yes. In which he would have disclosed output tax 1,000. Whereas for this guy who is called recipient for inward supply, for him it is an input tax. So it will auto populate to him in his electronic credit ledger. Okay. How much is that? 1,000 rupees. So electronic credit ledger is maintained in PMT 02 as per rule 86, guys. Okay, sir. Next, whatever is the remaining amount this person is supposed to pay under GST, that is output tax minus the input tax credit availed, the remaining amount he has to pay through electronic cash ledger. And electronic cash ledger is maintained in PMT 05 as per rule 87. Yes, sir. And before he makes the payment through cash ledger, first he should have a balance in that. So that means he should have deposited at least 4,000 or even more than that. And then only he can make the payment through cash ledger and file the returns. That is GSTR 3B, guys. Got it? Yes. So this is the concept of the payment under GST, guys. And you will get a separate question on this, guys. Please be very careful. So preferably it is asked under the compulsory section in descriptive type. That is to calculate how much money or how much GST has to be paid through cash ledger. Yes. So you have to do three calculations there. That is output tax, then input tax, which has to be adjusted in the order. Then how much GST has to be paid through cash ledger. Very important, and I will upload a separate video on the questions discussion on this topic. Very important under GST because it has been asked under the compulsory section in the past exams, guys. So hope it will continue same thing or same trend will continue in the upcoming exams as well. Okay. Now coming back to the provisions. Yes, sir. So Actually, in the law, they have given the point wise under each ledger or register what would be debited or credited. But I will try to explain it in the ledger format, guys, so that you will understand it in a better way. Yes, sir. First, electronic liability register, which will be maintained in form GST PMT 01. Anything a person is liable to pay under GST will be debited here, guys. Anything in the sense output tax, interest, late fee, penalty, any amount is liable to pay under GST. Okay. Normally, this will be captured through the GSTR1 or the returns filed by the registered supplier or registered person. Okay, sir. Now, how will he pay this? He has two options. Assume the liability under GST is 1 lakh rupees. Yes. First, we will check whether there is any balance in the electronic credit ledger. If yes, that credit ledger balance can be used to pay output tax. Use that first. Remaining, if any, will be paid through cash ledger. Assume there is a credit ledger balance of 40,000. So we will use that first. Obviously, first priority will be that one 40,000. Remaining 60,000 we will pay through cash ledger, guys. And whenever credit ledger balance is used, immediately it will be debited here 40,000. Yes, and it will be credited. Opposite side. I repeat, assume there is a liability of 1 lakh rupees for a registered person under GST. Now he has a balance of 40,000 in the electronic credit ledger, which he has paid on his inward supply, which is nothing but input tax. First, he will use that 40,000. Yes. When he is using the credit, it will be debited in the electronic credit ledger and it will be credited in the electronic liability register, guys. Okay. Remaining amount, if any, has to be paid through electronic cash ledger. And when he is paying 60,000 through electronic cash ledger should have so much of balance before making such payment. Yes, sir. So let me explain. Listen here. Whatever the person is liable to pay under GST, first it would be debited to the electronic liability register. Okay, sir. Then how will he pay it will be shown on the credit side. First choice is always from electronic credit ledger. So whatever credit balance is there for the registered person under GST with respect to his inward supply will appear on the credit side of the electronic credit ledger. Yes, sir. When he is utilizing it, it would be debited here. And it would be debited in electronic credit ledger. Same amount will be credited here. Got it? Remaining amount, if any, will be paid through cash ledger. And before we make the payment through cash ledger, first there should be a balance. I should have deposited the money into the cash ledger. Only then, when I make the payment, it would be debited here. Got it? Yes, sir. Fine. Coming back to this. So I have explained electronic liability register. Okay. Next, coming to credit ledger. Whatever balance a person is having in his electronic credit ledger, which is nothing but the tax paid on his inward supply, will be appearing on the credit side. When he utilizes it, it will be debited here. And sir, how can he utilize? For what he can utilize? I have given here. Please pay attention now. The amount which is available in the electronic credit ledger can be used only to pay output tax. Sir, what is output tax? The tax payable on outward supply. Now on my inward supply, if I'm supposed to pay tax on the RCM basis, that is input tax, can I use the credit ledger balance? No, I cannot use it. First, I have to pay it through cash ledger, then I will get it as a credit. Please be careful. This adjustment will be there even in the questions. I repeat, if on my inward supply, if I am supposed to pay tax as a recipient under RCM, can I use my credit ledger balance? No. I have to pay that amount through cash ledger, and once I pay, I will get it as a credit. So while you are solving the questions also, please be careful. In the total ITC available also, you will include this. But while calculating how much tax has to be paid through cash ledger, for whatever output tax you are supposed to pay through cash ledger, you should also add this. That is the tax payable on inward supply under RCM. That will give you the total GST to be paid through cash ledger. Got it? Simple format, guys. First, you take output tax to be paid on outward supply. From that, you reduce total ITC available. And total ITC available means, sir, whatever tax I have paid on my inward supply for which I am eligible to claim credit, including the tax paid under RCM, you will include it. Okay, sir. So remaining, you will get the output tax to be paid through cash ledger. For that, we should again add the amount of input tax which I am supposed to pay under RCM. Only add that. Okay, sir. Then that will give you the total GST to be paid through cash ledger. Hope you understood. And as I already told you, guys, I have discussed each and every questions on this with from past exams or RTP and or even from ICA material. I would be uploading a separate video on it. Once you are thorough with all the provisions, including this chapter, go and watch that video. That video will be uploaded after all 15 chapters revision videos are available, guys. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Fine. Okay, sir. Then the input tax credit credited to electronic credit ledger cannot be used for making the payment of tax under the RCM, that is on inward supply, or even to pay interest, late fee or penalty. I cannot use my credit ledger balance. That means even the interest, late fee and penalty has to be paid through cash ledger. Got it? Yes, sir. Fine. So here I have told you whatever credit we utilize will be debited here, and the same amount would be credited here. Sir, how can I utilize the credit in what order? Guys, we already discussed this in the input tax credit chapter, but let us try to recall it again. So pay attention. So whatever credit is lying in the electronic credit ledger, in what order can we utilize? First, we should always utilize IGST credit. Or so IGST credit will be first utilized against IGST liability. If still we have IGST credit, then we can use it against CGST and SGST liability in any order, in any proportion, however we want. And this is one of the key important step, guys. This has to be used in the most beneficial way to the registered person. Means you should use this step in such a way that whatever amount we are paying through electronic cash ledger, that should be minimum. It should be minimum. Okay. So once we have used the IGST credit fully, only then we can proceed further to utilize CGST and SGST credit. Okay, sir. So next, CGST credit will be used first against CGST liability. If still we have any amount of CGST credit, it will be used against IGST liability. Okay, sir. Then the last one is SGST or UTGST. Any one credit we will have. Because guys, the payment of GST, filing of returns, utilization of credit, everything is registration wise. So for a particular registration, you will either have SGST or UTGST, not both. Not both. Okay, sir. So if I have a SGST credit, first I will adjust it against SGST liability. If I still have a balance, I can adjust it against IGST. IGST liability. Yes, sir. CGST credit cannot be utilized against SGST liability. At the same time, we cannot utilize SGST credit against CGST liability, guys. Cross utilization between state and central is not allowed. Is that clear? Yes. So this is how we will adjust the credit, people. Okay. Next, if in case, sir, whatever balance I had in my credit ledger, I cannot utilize it fully because my output tax was less. So what do? We normally carry forward it to the next. We carry forward it to the next one. For example, assume I had a credit of 40,000. I utilized only 30,000 in the current period. Remaining 10 will be a closing balance. So for the next month or next tax period, that will be opening balance. By balance brought down. Yes. This is what we normally do. But in two scenarios, we can claim the refund of unutilized input tax credit balance, guys. That is, when the outward supply is zero rated supply, that is nothing but exports. On inward supply, we can claim credit. Yes. Sir, to utilize the credit, we don't have output tax. In that case, what do? We can claim the refund of unutilized ITC. The second one is inverted duty structure, guys. That is, the tax rate on inward supply is more than the tax rate on outward supply. In such case, whatever input tax amount we will have will be more than the output tax. Even if I am carrying forwarding it to the next period or next tax period, it will be keep on happening like that only in every tax period. So in such case, can I claim a refund of unutilized ITC? Yes. So when I make an application for the refund of unutilized ITC, the amount will be automatically debited here, assuming it will be processed. And if amount is processed, it will come and sit in the electronic cash ledger. Electronic cash ledger, not to my bank account directly, it will be credited here. Okay. If it is processed, well and good. If by chance if it is rejected, then the amount would be credited back here. As soon as I make an application for refund of unutilized ITC, it would be debited here, assuming it will be processed. And if it is processed, no more entry. Sir, what if by chance if it is rejected? Then it will be credited back here. And here also, it will be debited. If it is rejected only. If it is rejected only. If it is processed, then whatever entries are already passed here, no? Here it is debit and here it is credit. That will hold good. That will hold good, guys. Got it? Yes. Fine. Now coming to electronic cash ledger. This is similar to our bank account. Guys, in order to make any payment from our bank account, first we should have a balance in our bank account. Yes, sir. Only then we can make any payments or we can use it. Yes, sir. Same way, electronic cash ledger is like maintaining the balance with the GST department to pay anything under GST. So whatever balance is there in electronic cash ledger, we can use it to pay anything under GST and it will be maintained in form GST PMT 05, guys. Liability register is in PMT 01, credit ledger is in 02, whereas cash ledger in 05. Sir, what about PMT 03 and 04? We will talk about it. Oh, fine. So before making any payment, we should ensure that we have a balance in electronic cash ledger for which we need to deposit the amount. So how can I deposit the amount into my electronic cash ledger, sir? Guys, we need to generate a challan in PMT 06 telling how much amount we are willing to deposit and under which major rate, under which minor rate, how much amount. Clear? So whenever we are generating the challan in PMT 06, we need to mention, sir, how much money we are depositing under each major rate. So totally there are 4 major rate, that is IGST, CGST, SGST or UTGST, not both, any one. The last one is cess. Okay, sir. And under each major rate, we will have 5 minor rates, guys. So when I am depositing, assume I am depositing 1 lakh under IGST, I need to tell how much is under tax minor rate, how much is for interest, how much is for penalty, how much is for fees. Each amount I need to mention. Is that clear? Yes, sir. And how can I deposit the amount into the electronic cash ledger means I have given here. Money can be deposited in the cash ledger by different modes, namely internet banking, credit card, debit card through authorized banks, then UPI or IMPS from any bank, or RTGS or NEFT, and also all these are through internet, guys. Yes, sir. The last one, over the counter payment in branches of bank, that is by standing in the queue, you have to go and deposit in the bank manually. Okay, bank counter. But how much maximum, sir? 10,000 per challan per tax period. Per tax period, maximum you can deposit 10,000 in the counter. Rest all you have to deposit through online mode, guys. Yes, sir. But if it is a deposit by government department or a proper officer in the case of recovery and all, can they deposit more than 10,000 also over the counter? Yes. That are like an exceptions. Is that clear? Yes. But if a registered person wants to deposit more than 10,000 per tax period over the counter, that is not possible. Or fine. So we will deposit the amount into electronic cash ledger and even the TDS and TCS credit will appear here, guys. So the TDS and TCS concept we will be learning in the next chapter. But I will just tell you, assume guys, on my money, any person has deducted the TDS and he has remitted to the government. And that amount will reflect to me here. Same way, assume I am the supplier. So e-commerce operator has collected TCS from me. Before making the payment to me, he has collected the TCS and he has deposited it to the government within 10th of next month. That amount will reflect to me here. And I can use it as if I have deposited that amount to pay anything under GST. Okay, fine. So we have a balance here in electronic cash ledger, which we can use it to pay anything under GST. Anything means it can be output tax, interest, late fee, penalty, and even if it is an input tax, that is on inward supply. If I am supposed to pay tax under RCM, can I use electronic cash ledger balance to pay it? Yes. Yes. So if I have to show you, whatever we will credit it here, no, same amount would be debited here, guys. same to same, but on the opposite sides. That's all. Okay, sir. Fine. And with respect to this, I already spoke. That is, sir, if I have an unutilized balance of ITC with respect to my zero rated outward supply or inverted duty structure, I will claim a refund of it. And if refund is processed, it will be credited to cash ledger. If in case if it is rejected, it will be debited back. Okay, sir. Now, sir, I had deposited excess amount into the cash ledger, for example, 10 lakh. But as of now, I have used only 6 lakh. What do I do with remaining 4 lakh? You can carry forward and use it in the next tax period. If not, can I claim the refund of it? Yes. You can claim the refund of it. Yes. So when you apply for the refund of unutilized balance in electronic cash ledger, it would be debited here and it would be processed and amount will directly be credited to your bank account. Sir, what if in case if it is rejected? Normally it will not be rejected because it is my own money or in my example, your own money, you are withdrawing it. So in that case, it will not be rejected. But due to some technical problem or anything, assume you had given a wrong information. In that case, if it is rejected, it will credited back here. It will be credited back here, guys. Got it? Yes. The electronic cash ledger contains a summary of all the deposits and payments made by a taxpayer. Yes. And the amount payable on reverse charge basis, that is on inward supply, or the amount payable under section 10. Guys, for the composition supplier, there is no credit. Whatever is his output tax, he has to pay out of his own pocket. Means entire output tax has to be paid through electronic cash ledger by the composition supplier. Got it? Yes. And any amount payable towards interest, penalty, or late fee shall be paid by debiting the electronic cash ledger. So simple, sir. If on my inward supply, if RCM is applicable, as the recipient, I am paying tax. That is called input tax. I have to pay through cash ledger. Yes. Then if I am a composition supplier, whatever is my output tax at composition rate, I have to pay through cash ledger. Yes. Then if I am liable to pay any interest, IPL, that is interest, penalty, or late fee, then we have to pay it through cash ledger, guys. Is that clear? Because, sir, only credit ledger balance can be used to pay what? Output tax. And output tax under which section? Section 9. If you are under a composition scheme, then you cannot even utilize your credit. You are not eligible to utilize input tax credit, or you are not eligible to claim input tax credit. Got it? Yes, sir. Fine, we are done with this. Next, sir, in what order the payment has to be made? Guys, GST is self-assessment based. So first you will calculate what is the amount of tax to be paid. So you will pay for the current period. But if any amount is pending for the previous tax period, first you have to pay that. If at all, if it is pending, then you can pay for current tax period. If you don't do this, when you are liable to pay GST, but you didn't pay it by yourself, that is, you didn't calculate and pay it. In that case, the proper officer can recover from you as per section 73, 74 or 74A, guys. These are called recovery sections. But this is like a last option. First option is always given to the registered person for himself to calculate on self-assessment and pay it within the due date. If it is not paid within the due date and they will send a notice, you don't respond or you respond but they are not satisfied, then they can initiate an action against the registered person as per section 73 or 74 or 74A. But don't worry, these three sections are not a part of your intermediate syllabus, guys. Got it? Yes. Fine. So this part I already told you. Whenever a person is supposed to deposit the amount into the electronic cash ledger, he need to generate a challan in PMT06 and he should specify how much he wants to deposit under which major head and under that major head for which minor head how much. Got it? Yes. Sir, now I have some balance in particular major head or under any minor head. Can I use it to pay any other amount? For example, the amount in tax, can I use to pay penalty? Or the amount in penalty, can I use it to pay tax? No. Same way, sir, the amount under the major head IGST, can I use it to pay SGST or CGST? No, you cannot. First, you have to transfer the balance. So that means using PMT09, GST PMT09, the amount can be transferred from one major head to another major head or from one minor head to another minor head within the same registration. Assume I am a registered person in Karnataka I have excess balance in CGST. Can I transfer this to IGST? Yes. Or else assume under CGST I have the balance, excess balance in tax. Can I transfer it to interest or penalty? Yes, guys. So within the same registration, I can transfer the balance using GST PMT09 from any minor head to another minor head or from one major head to another major head. I have that freedom. Is that clear? Yes. Sir, can it be transferred between distinct person? For example, assume I have taken two registration. One is in Karnataka, the other one is in Tamil Nadu. Now I have some unutilized balance in my cash ledger under IGST. Can I transfer it to my Tamil Nadu registration? Yes, guys. If it is IGST or CGST balance, I can transfer it. But SGST, I cannot because it will be two states involved. So unnecessarily it will lead to conflict. Only the CGST or IGST balance can be transferred. But when I am transferring the balance from my electronic cash ledger in Karnataka, I should make sure that I don't have any liability pending in Karnataka. Sir, I have a lot of liabilities pending under GST in Karnataka. Even though my liabilities are pending, can I transfer the balance to Tamil Nadu? No, no, that is not possible. That's not possible. Is that clear? And when the amount is transferred from one account to another account, that is one major head to another minor head, sorry, one major head to another major head, or from one minor head to another minor head, then automatically the balances would be transferred, guys. Even if it is transferred between the distinct person, then, for example, assume we have transferred the balance from Karnataka registration to Tamil Nadu. So in Karnataka, in electronic cash ledger, the amount would be debited as if it is utilized or as if it is refunded back. Okay. Whereas in electronic cash ledger of Tamil Nadu, the amount would be credited. Amount would be credited. I repeat, when we have transferred the balance, assume from Karnataka to Tamil Nadu, in the electronic cash ledger of Karnataka, the amount would be debited. At the same time, in the electronic cash ledger of Tamil Nadu, the amount would be credited, guys. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Fine. So if it is within the same registration, you can transfer it from any minor head to another minor head or any major head to another major head. But if it is between distinct person, so please be careful. If it is between distinct person means where the registration is taken separately, only IGST or CGST can be transferred and not SGST or UTGST, guys. Got it? Yes. When I have applied for the transfer of fund from one major head to another one major head to another major head, or from one minor head to another minor head, it is also government responsibility to transfer the balances between them, guys, from one respective account to another respective account. Here also, as per section 53, assume guys, I have used IGST credit to pay CGST liability. In that case, whatever is the amount of IGST credit I have used to pay CGST liability, an equivalent amount will be transferred from IGST account to CGST account. By whom? By central government. Even though it is managed by the same government, still they will transfer the balance from one account to another account. Yes, sir, for proper accounting. And this is the responsibility of the government as per section 53. Yes. Same way, for example, now if I have used IGST credit to pay SGST, same way central government will transfer the balance from IGST account to the respective SGST account of the state. Okay. Sir, what if CGST credit is used to pay IGST liability? Same story, guys. An amount equivalent to the credit utilized will be transferred from CGST account to the IGST account. Got it? Yes. And the last one also, same way. That is, sir, what if SGST credit is used to pay IGST liability? An equivalent amount will be transferred from the respective state government SGST account to the IGST account, guys. Yes, sir. Fine. We'll continue. So we are done with all this. Next, section 50, which talks about interest on delayed payment of GST. Guys, normally the due date to pay GST is 20th of next month for a registered person under section 9. Yes, sir. If he doesn't pay it, then from 21st, interest will start. You have to pay it, but along with interest. At what rate, sir? 18% per annum. Let us see. 50 subsection 1. Every person who is liable to pay tax fails to pay tax or any part thereof to the government within the period prescribed. That is, there are different due dates, but for the person who is under section 9, the due date to pay GST is 20th of next month, which is nothing but the due date to file GST or 3B itself is the due date to pay GST, guys. Okay. Shall pay interest at 18% per annum for the period for which the tax or any part thereof remains unpaid. Okay, that is from 21st of next month till the day you paid. Interest will be calculated at 18% per annum. Okay. There is a proviso under subsection 1, provided that interest in cases where the tax return under section 39, that is GSTR 3B, has been furnished after the due date. That is, there is a delay in filing GSTR 3B. Oh. But furnished before the commencement of the recovery proceedings as per section 73, 74 or 74A shall be levied on net cash liability. That is the portion of GST to be paid through electronic cash ledger. Okay, I will explain this with an example. So just pay attention here. Yeah. Assume guys, for the month of Jan 2026, my output tax liability is 2 lakh and I have a credit ledger balance of 80,000. I have a credit ledger balance of 80,000. So how much has to be paid through electronic cash ledger, which we call it as net tax liability, is 1,20,000. Yes. Now, check whether returns is filed within the due date or not. If return is not filed within the due date, means there is a delay in payment of tax due to delay in filing the returns. In that case, interest will be charged on the net tax liability. That is the amount to be paid through cash ledger. On 1,20,000, interest would be levied, guys, at 18% per annum. Okay. Sir, what if return is already filed, but there is a short payment of tax? For example, I already paid 5 lakh, but still there is a short payment of 2 lakh output tax. So in that case, check how much ITC is there. Okay. How much amount has to be paid through cash ledger? 1,20,000. But still, interest will be calculated on gross tax liability. Gross tax liability. There is a delay in payment of tax or there is a short payment of tax, but return is already filed. Return is already filed. So in that case, interest would be levied on the entire gross tax liability, that is 2 lakh, guys. Hope you understood. Hope it is clear for you. Got it? Got it? Let me repeat. Listen. If there is a delay in payment of GST due to delay in filing the returns, means return also is not yet filed, that is in GSTR 3B, then in such case, interest would be levied on net tax liability, that is the amount to be paid through cash ledger, 1,20,000. Is that clear? Yes, sir. Next, sir, there is a delay in payment of tax or there is a short payment of tax, but return is already filed, sir. GSTR 3B for the respective month is already filed, sir. Okay, in that case, interest would be levied on 2 lakh, guys. That is gross tax liability. Got it? For January, what is the due date to file? GSTR 3B on or before 20th February. Got it? If it is already filed, then we will follow this. No, sir, it is not yet filed. Then the interest would be on net tax liability, guys. Got it? Yes. Next, subsection 2. The interest shall be calculated from the date succeeding the day on which such tax was due to be paid. Okay. That is normally the due date, assume if nothing is mentioned, consider it as 20th of next month as the due date for payment. So interest will start from 21st, guys. Okay. Subsection 3. A taxable person who makes an undue or excess claim of input tax credit or undue or excess reduction in output tax liability shall pay interest at the rate not exceeding 24% per annum, means maximum 24%. On such undue or excess claim or on such undue or excess reduction of liability. Yes. But government has notified 18% per annum, guys. So what is the actual rate means? It is not 24%, it is 18%. So if there is a non-payment of GST or short payment of the GST, then interest is at 18% as per subsection 1. Whereas if there is undue or excess claim of input tax credit, or else you have claimed credit for which you are not at all eligible, or you have not satisfied the condition, or the credit is blocked as per section 17, still you have claimed the credit, then on such excess credit claimed or whatever credit you have claimed for which you are not eligible, the interest would be at 18% per annum from the date you have utilized it till the day you actually paid to the government along with the interest. Okay, sir. Fine. But there is a clarification telling, assume I have wrongly utilized IGST credit of 1,50,000, but I had a balance of IGST credit 50,000 and CGST and SGST credit together 1,20,000 in my credit ledger. So in aggregate, I have a balance of how much? 1,70,000. So can I use this to pay IGST liability? Yes, sir. So in that case, they are telling, if the aggregate amount of credit lying in the electronic credit ledger, if it is more than or equal to the IGST credit which is wrongly utilized, then no interest on it, because I had enough credit in my electronic credit ledger, guys. Is that clear? So in that case, should we consider only IGST credit or even CGST and SGST credit? We should consider the aggregate. Okay, sir. Next, IGST credit wrongly availed, assume is 1,50,000, but there is no IGST credit in my electronic credit ledger, but I have CGST and SGST credit 1 lakh. So interest would be levied on how much amount, guys? 50,000. So in aggregate of both of this, I have only 1 lakh credit, but I have wrongly utilized 1,50,000. So excess over and above what I have in my electronic credit ledger, how much I have utilized? 150 minus 1 lakh. So interest would be charged on 50,000, guys. Is that clear? Yes, sir. And also there is one more clarification telling, if I have a credit of compensation cess, assume I have paid a compensation cess on my inward supply, that credit can be utilized only towards payment of compensation cess. So cess credit can be used only to pay cess. Got it? Yes, sir. Fine. We'll move forward. So I have just given the summary of various forms here. GST PMT01, that is maintenance of electronic liability register, read with rule 85, and PMT02 is for maintaining credit ledger as per rule 86. Then PMT03, guys, whenever we have applied for any refund, that is of unutilized ITC, then if it is rejected, the rejection order will be passed in PMT03 by the proper officer. Got it? Yes. And whenever registered person notices any discrepancy in his ledgers, he need to immediately intimate it to the proper officer or the department in PMT04. This is to communicate any discrepancy or any differences which he noticed in the ledgers. Okay. Then GST PMT5 is to maintain cash ledger as per rule 87. Then PMT06 is to generate the challan in order to deposit the amount into the electronic cash ledger. And there is one more form which is important, that is PMT09, to transfer the amount from one major head to another major head or from one minor head to another minor head, guys. So if you try to recall in this example also I had given in the order, easy to remember the form numbers, guys. First, our liability will appear where? In liability register. So it is in PMT01. Then against my output tax, I can adjust what? Input tax credit. That will be maintained in what? PMT02. And what will come in the last? That is the amount which we need to pay through cash ledger, which will be maintained in PMT05, not 3, PMT05. 3 is for rejection order and 4 is for discrepancy communication. Yes. Whereas 5 is cash ledger. Got it? Yes, sir. So this is all about the topic of payment. Now come back to the revision book and come to the section list. We'll just mark it quickly. Under CGST Act, guys. So which all sections we have covered here? 49, 50. Then TDS, TCS, we will learn it in next chapter. That is chapter 14. Then even this too. Transfer of funds between the governments. Okay, this is the actually not the responsibility of the registered person. It is the responsibility of the government. They will take care of it. Got it? Yes, guys. Done with payment topic.